Hey guys, it is a recovery week for me. Thanks for watching episode 2 of my running blog. And this week we're going to talk about the recovery week. What is it? How do we appropriately execute a good recovery week? And some of the things that we tend to avoid or overdo during recovery that really negates the whole purpose of the week. Number 1 on my list is to avoid trading one intensity for another intensity. So what do we mean by that? It's very easy, especially during a taper period, maybe not necessarily like a recovery week, but it's very easy when you're tapering for a race to, as your running decreases, to then switch it and start doing something else. So you're like, well, I'm not supposed to run so much, but I'm gonna go to this high intensity interval training course or class, maybe a spin class. Maybe with all this extra energy, I'm going to take on this huge remodeling project in my house or organizing project. And what's happening there is you're just trading one intense thing for another intense thing. You're not actually getting recovery. So during a recovery week, maybe like I'm experiencing, it would be really easy to just swap out all of that time that I spend running for something else that is negating the whole purpose of recovery. So when you're recovering, if you really are feeling like this is the time I spend exercising and I just have a 30-minute recovery run instead of a 90-minute run, spend that extra time stretching, do some mobility work, get on the foam roller, or sleep in a little bit extra. So try not to swap out your recovery with just something similar but different. That's going to be the number 1 thing on my list. The second thing that I can say that I see people, including myself, wanting to do during a recovery week is eating less calories. Our training is reduced. In our mind, we think that we shouldn't need to eat as many calories. In reality, if we really are coming off of an intense training block, we might find ourselves to be just as hungry or even more hungry as our body is recovering and repairing from a difficult training block, or in another case like a large long distance race, and coming out of running like a ultra marathon or even a marathon. You're probably going to be hungry for days after that race, not just the day of or the day after. So mistake number 2 that I see people make during recovery weeks or recovery days is just trying to eat less, or even kind of go into a diet mentality of like, this is a good opportunity for me to eat less because I'm not training as much. Maybe I can lose a little weight. And I would say that that is going to take away from your recovery, once again, defeating the purpose of that recovery week. So the third and final thing I'm going to mention as a recovery week, things that we should avoid doing or strive to do better at, is really hitting your recovery workouts as recovery workouts. What I mean by that, I'll use running as an example, is if you have a recovery run on the schedule, but it's day 3 or 4 of recovery week and you're feeling really fresh, it's really tempting to go out there and just run faster. Especially if it's going on Strava, or you just don't like seeing your pace at that 11 or 12 or 13, whatever it is, minute mile. But remember to A, don't compare to your friends, especially during a recovery week, and B, like every workout has its own purpose. So recovery runs are going to look so different than those lactate threshold intervals that I talked about last week. I'm not going to compare the paces of those 2 workouts because they're so different and they have such a different purpose. So on your recovery week, or maybe after a race or during that taper period, if it says, do this 45-minute recovery run, really strive to make it a recovery run. Not every run is going to be fast and hard, and it shouldn't be. That's a great way to burn yourself out or start to see your progress go backwards. So honor those recovery workouts. Same goes for lifting or whatever sport you're in. When you have an easy day, make it easy. So that is all. Just go out, enjoy your recovery week. I know that I am enjoying mine, and next week it is back at it with a new training block We're going to be doing some tempo workouts, and maybe I will share those.